Hey, so today I wanted to share what homeschool looks like in our home this year and a little bit of the past to kind of like show you how I added up while we're here, but not like too much. I have me some talking points I printed off because I don't want to be all over the place for you guys. And so here we go. Okay, so let's look here. First off, I do want to say that this is not a do it my way, it's a do it your way type of homeschooling because everybody's family fits different for different seasons. So remember that. I've done it all the different ways. And so this year, this is what's working for us. And I don't know if it's going to last next year. If that makes sense. So if that's going to work for us next year, because I'm telling you, different homeschool. Every family has a different season in life. So, like I said before in my other video, we've been homeschooling for about 6 years. When we first started homeschool, I homeschooled my daughter through charter school, Epic, her 3rd grade year, because I wanted her to transition back in public school the best way she could, and we ended up not wanting to go back after that, but Epic, she literally hated it. I'm not saying Epic's bad because we're doing it right now, but at that point of our life, she hated it and cried every day. It was awful. So the next year we transitioned to a traditional homeschool, and that was Ace Paces, and she loved it. And then we changed it up over the years. We didn't do the same curriculum every year, but just this past year we started Epic again due to my daughter going into 8th grade, and she wants to be a vet, and that's going to include college, and I just wanted her to be able to go to college confident and understand how to like turn in assignments, because let's get real, when you're a traditional homeschool mom, when you come up with these assignments, my daughter, man, every kid's different, but my daughter started getting like, what did she say? One time I told her, what about this writing assignment? And she's like, you're always wanting me to write about no, I know what it was. I told her that I said something cool about something, and she goes, oh, let me guess, you're going to want me to write about it again. So like it kind of just started getting like that. So I'm like, okay, we need to change this up a bit because you're not going to be predicting or talking to your college professor in the car. So that's what we did. And then my son, he has a reading disability, and he has speech, and I kept trying to get him into speech around here, and I could not get him in speech. I was on all these waiting lists. So I decided charter school would look better for him next year to help get him tested for the reading and for speech. And then I just threw my 6-year-old in there to be involved. It's just how we decided to do it. Next year might look different for us, but we're talking about this year. So every child is different, and that is the truth. Every child learns differently. So you might have one kid, like next year, my oldest, my 14, 15-year-old, is going to be doing Epic, but my 6, 7-year-old at that time may be doing traditional school, so like it just may not work for her. The Epic may not, the charter school. So every child is different, and give yourself permission. This is the point. Give yourself permission to change if it's not working for you. I want to say we did do Epic because we got in a co-op. So we did Epic, and my little boy was not learning his letters, but the charter school was having him, he was not remembering his letters, but the charter school that he was doing, the videos and all the things he was trying to learn at that point, because I think he was going into 1st grade. It was 1st grade? Yeah. Was having him read, like learning to read. And I'm like, he can't even identify the letters. We can't keep going like this. There's no way. He was just crying every day. And If a kid's crying every day, that's not working. Change it. Your child should not be crying every day. Um, so what are we doing this year? We're going to do Epic again because my son, he needs that speech. My daughter, she's going into high school. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous about the high school stuff with my daughter because before a couple years ago, how am I gonna do this? If you chose not to do charter school for your child for high school, that is okay. There's so much fun curriculum out there. You just buy, your kid does it, and just write it down. And then it's there, it's documented. And that's all the colleges needs. So our schedule, I try to get my kids done with their schoolwork. I like to do it between like 8 to noon. 8 to noon. My older one, she does her own thing. But my younger ones, I like to have it done between 8 and noon. That is and it does not, I'm saying 8 to noon for both of them because it does not usually take that long to do especially with the littles, to do their schoolwork. And then I heard something on a podcast recently, and I'm going to definitely use this, but homeschooling, you might do a school from 8 to noon, but the rest of the day from that noon to 3 or noon to 5 when the kids are normally at school or doing this and that, they need to be working on a project. That's what I'm doing for my kids. I want them all to have a project this year. I don't want them like running around, like tearing crap up on their extra time or running around or like just watching TV. I want them to have a project to do at home that they're passionate about. That's what we're going to do this year, is find a project that they're passionate about. So, it also says, let's go back to the curriculum. So I'm using all the kids. I'm using charter. I am going to implement, because I have like a reading for first grade and my daughter's in first grade. So I'm going to try to implement that as much as possible instead of all the videos we do. I don't know, I'll figure it out, but I'm going to put in some extra stuff at home for her for reading, and we're gonna go with it that way. We'll see how it works. And then my son, I am begging them to change the curriculum for reading for him because he's in 3rd grade, but he's not on 3rd grade level. If this does not work out and he is upset every day, I may be pulling him from Epic and doing transition, a traditional homeschool. But I really want to get that speech done before I do that. Okay. But also, I always felt their teacher, I love their teacher so much through Epic, and we go there once a week to see his teacher and she has a classroom and she does stuff with them. So I love that too. We love that. The kids always look forward to that day that we go to town. We do our errands. They get to see their teacher. I take them to eat fast food because we don't eat fast food a lot. They love that. So math, reading, language arts, science, and history, all of that is on there on Epic. I am this month, like during the summer, I'm transitioning the kids back to starting to do some schoolwork. So we're doing like sight words, and I just printed off a Native American curriculum for elementary. So it's like a short little thing. You can watch a movie. They're fun. I can post it in my comments if you want, and you can go to the link and print something like that off. There's stuff like that everywhere. There's also another thing I love for science. It's Nat Theo, and I can post that. She does a YouTube video, and my kids love it. And it's science and about animals usually. It's mostly always animals or habitats and things, and then she brings it back to God at the end. So, and she puts like a Bible verse in there. It's really cool. And there's a coloring sheet, so my kids color while they're listening. And we can do that once or twice a week, and the kids eat it up. Um, so another point on here is it says real life learning, like cooking together, farm chores, reading aloud, nature walks, grocery shopping, life skills, like all the points of homeschooling. But I do want to pull out of this the reading aloud. My other favorite thing about homeschooling is the books. Now, I'm not talking about like my kids just make them go read. I'm talking about getting a chapter book out, reading it to your kids. And it will not be pretty. It will not be pretty. You always hear the moms talk about, oh, we just spent the whole day reading to our kids. All day. And maybe some kids, maybe you'll have that kid that loves reading. My kids don't. So, this is what I do for reading. I read to them a lot, but I'm gonna force them to read, like listen to me read, or like when we're in the car, I play an audiobook for that book, and they listen to it in the car, and they may huff and puff, but by the end of that book, they love it, and they will talk about it for the rest of their lives. I'm not even kidding. Me and my 14-year-old did Anne of Green Gables. That is a long book. We did a lot of audio on that in the car when we're going here and there, and the little ones listen too. But my 14-year-old had to been like 10 at that point, or 11. I don't know. But she still talks, we still talk about it. We have innuendos, like jokes and things like that. Like our pond, we call it the Shining Lake or something. I don't know. We were just talking about that the other day. It's not on top of my head, but we have like little innuendos together from reading those books, and those memories are there, and they don't remember throwing a fit saying, I don't want to read. I'm telling you, they will not throw a fit saying that. I mean, when they get older, they won't be like, oh, they'll remember the book. They will not remember. Now, some books you might start and you're like, okay, this really isn't working for our family. Like, we did, one time we tried to read, my grandma gave me all these books of Little House on the Prairie, and I thought this was going to be so perfect. It was kind of above their age. It was more for like high school kids, and so like trying to read that to them, it was too much. But like The Hatchet, we're reading that right now. I read that with my daughter, I think twice, and the kids, but the little ones didn't remember much, so we're reading it again. But they huffed and puffed when I was reading it and starting it. But in the car now, they will ask to read it. So enjoy those moments with your kids. So the next point it has on here, explain that learning doesn't only have to happen at a desk. Flexibility, that is so true. Even with Epic, I let them do their schoolwork on the porch. They'll sit on the swing set, on the trampoline. They'll do it in their bedroom. Now, if it's like, it just kind of depends on your kid and how that looks for you. My 14-year-old, I remember when she first started doing Ace Paces, when we first started homeschooling, I have a picture of her crawled in a tree doing her schoolwork. And a couple years ago, the hammock's gone now, but she would sit in a hammock and do her schoolwork, where she's read books that she's had to, like, through her curriculum in a round pen with her horses. Like, just stuff like that, whatever makes them comfortable and works. Some kids, it may work better if you're sitting at a table, and that's okay too. Sometimes we do, like, even Epic, we have to do these videos. They're called U-Fly videos to help her learn to read. And you write. So I've had chalk, and I had them out here doing their U-Fly video on the concrete and writing their words on the concrete with chalk. So anything that works for you, but most of the time we would use a whiteboard and an expo marker in the car, or sitting in the house, or on the trampoline, like whatever works. But so yeah, When we tradition homeschool, it says if a lesson isn't clicking, we take a break. We do take breaks. That is for sure. Like, don't overwhelm yourself, especially doing charter school. Just tell yourself if it's not working, don't be afraid to communicate with your teacher and be like, hey, this is not working. This is what I think might work for my child. What do you think about this or that? They usually, mine will work with you and be like, yeah, that's fine. That works great. You know, as long as your kid is learning and pulling something, it doesn't really matter. That's the way I look at it. Like, they just, like, you just got to find a way to make them, help them learn by you. Bad days do happen. It's on my Texas. Bad days happen. They do. But I can tell you in the end, which I'm not at the end yet with my 14-year-old, but we're just starting high school. Her days, when I say about homeschooling, is not, she don't think about the days. I mean, it's there, obviously, that she was crying and da-da-da, but it's those days that you laid in bed with them and read a book at lunch until they fell asleep. It's those days you just hung out with them all day outside. It's those days you sat by them and try to figure out that math problem that neither of you can figure out. Those times together, those are the days. And it's that day that they learn to read their first word. Or when, my kids started, my little boy, I didn't think he would ever be able to figure out the letters. I was like, what is going on? I thought it was me. Like I wasn't doing something right, but as long as you're trying to point in your kid, you're not doing anything wrong. Every kid learns different, and my son will eventually read. It will happen. Just like I never thought he was going to ever be able to memorize his letters or the sounds, and we are there. He knows all his letters, all the sounds, can read CVC words. We are moving, so you will move, I promise. So, reading together every day, having realistic expectations, letting kids learn in their own space. Do not compare your homeschool with my homeschool or the podcast you listened to last week. Or I'm sure I've read a lot of homeschool books, and I have one that I love that I will post on here on my comments, but it is good to dive in and hear those podcasts, read those books, and take all that in for you. This is your job. This is your full-time job. So when you learn all this and take all that in, it does help. And mentally, it helps you too. So, because you're always growing also. You're changing, you're growing, your family's growing, and you're having to adapt with that. And there's going to be things that come up that you haven't dealt with before, but that's okay because you will figure it out. Because as long as you go in there and homeschool your kids and you love them and you're trying your best, you'll succeed 100%. And just pour in those babies and let's give them the best life, the best worldview we can give them, and the safety of feeling just safe, like they're not having to worry about not feeling safe ever at home with you. Anyways, I think that is about it. I went over more than I thought I would, but I could probably go on and on more on another video about doing charter school, because there is a lot of hacks and things, and I probably will do my next video will be about that. Anyways, I might even have my epic teacher chit chat with y'all about it. But anywho, I am going to let you go. If you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. If you have questions maybe about a co-op, let me know. There's all kinds of different ways to homeschool. There's so many different ways, but Epic Charter School is just working for us right now. And we're very appreciative of them and our teacher. Very, very much. Have a great day.